Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy. Today, the Bunnahabhain PX finished limited edition. This one is bottled at cask strength at 54.3% ABV. It's non-chill filtered, no added color. It spent the first 11 years in a refill sherry cask, and then the final 3 years in a first fill PX sherry cask. So much hype surrounding this bottle. This one cost me $165 here in Ontario at the LCBO. Big shout out to Know Your Whiskey, Scotch Whiskey Hunter, and Whiskey in the Six for acquiring this. Those guys kind of swooped in and grabbed this as soon as it hits the shelves. They were kind enough to give me a bottle. I will let you know if the hype surrounding this one is real after I nose it, taste it, and give it a mark. All right, on the nose. The first thing I get is like a musty kind of sherry note. It's usually the kind of like mustiness I equate to like older, like longer aged sherry whiskeys. So it's interesting that I'm picking up here in a 14-year-old. Dry red wine. It's almost like you're literally smelling red wine here. Dried fruit, raisins. Really big raisiny note here for sure. And maybe a little bit of nuttiness, almost like crushed almonds. It reminds me actually of Abalur Abuna, just without the alcohol burn that sometimes you get from those batches. But really, really nice. Bold, rich, really good. Let's go palate. Very nice. That raisin note carries over. Just huge, huge raisiny note here. And then I get grape. The grape note I get here kind of reminds me of the same grape note I got from the Macallan cask strength, which I loved. So really, really nice note there. And then chocolate. The chocolate note on this is just so good. Really, really nice. And it's just like very, very syrupy. Like it's very viscosity, high viscosity, very syrupy, great mouthfeel. It almost, I've never had Pax Rat before, but Pax Rat is kind of like that boiled down PX sherry like dessert wine that I think they sometimes used in casks to like season it or add it to like old sherry whiskeys. I know that the Scotch Whisky Society eventually banned that back in the 90s perhaps, but that the thickness and like the heaviness and the syrupiness of this, I can only imagine if that's what that Pax Rat added to sherry whiskeys kind of back in the day. I've only read about it and heard about it. I've never tried a whiskey that had that Pax Rat in it, but this kind of just kind of like turned a light bulb on, saying like that's what I kind of heard about before, that Pax Rat, that heavy sherry syrupy kind of stuff. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Finish, very, very juicy, mouth-watering. You get that grape, the chocolate, like a dark cherry kind of lingers on there. Not the most complex whiskey and not the longest finish, but what you're getting is really, really good. If you want a sherry bomb, this is a sherry bomb. Very, very syrupy, like I said before, kind of in your face. It's very juicy, very, very nice. Score-wise for me, I really like this one. I think it delivers on pretty much all the hype, but my score will kind of reflect that it's not quite at that level. I'm going to give it 89.5 out of 100, so not quite that 90 mark, but just below it. Value-wise, I'm going to leave the value at 0 here, which means I think the price is justified. 165 Canadian is almost to where the secondary market is on these right now. If you bought this at retail, which I think was around $90 US, you got a good value. So we're a little bit above that now, but I think for that price, it's still justified. So 89.5 out of 100, really good whiskey. Let me know what you guys think. If you found this one on the shelf, were you able to try it? Just want to give a shout out to Marco. Marco, this is his bottle. He lent it to me. I wanted to try this one before I opened mine, just to be sure that it was something that I wanted to keep and maybe not trade, just because the value on this is getting up and up and up in there. But I do want to keep my bottle. I think this is a really good whiskey. So let me know in the comments if you tried this one, what you think about it. As always, guys, I appreciate it. Cheers.